Hey students and parents, in this video we're going to be dividing decimals by whole numbers. So if you go back to some of those old dividing videos, it might help you to just understand the process. But we'll be doing a few examples, 2 examples to be exact, in this video to show you exactly how to divide decimals by whole numbers. All right, so for our first example, what we have is 8 1/10 divided by 18. And I know what you're saying, Mr. Stewart, you can't divide a smaller number by a bigger number. Well, you can, and we're going to show you how we do it. Okay, so we're dividing the decimal by the whole number. And once again, from our previous videos, we made sure we did this strategy. And this is the only addition that we have here, is we put that decimal right above where our decimal place is. But these placeholders, they're going to show us that we need to fill those up. We're going to also, in this example, show you that we need to add a 0 at the end just to keep dividing, and you'll see how that works in just a second. So first, how many times does 18 go into 8? We know that is 0 times. Well, how many times does 18 go into 81? Well, it goes in 4 times because 4 times 18 is 72. We subtract these, we get 9. Okay. Now, we could stop right here and get 4/10 and then do our whole wheel business, but that's confusing because we already have a decimal. So let's just keep going with decimals. I'm going to add a 0 because we could add as many zeros as we wanted to after the fact and not change the value of 8 1/10, right? So if we add the 0, we bring down, we have 90. So how many times does 18 go into 90? Well, it goes in 5 times, and it goes in evenly. Okay, so we subtract, we get 0. So our answer here is what we have is 0 and 45/100ths. Okay, and we can add that there retroactively after the fact, but we don't need to. We know that that's our answer. Okay. Okay, so for our last example for this skill, what we have is 57/100ths divided by 30. Okay, now this is once again that same question. Well, can we divide a smaller number by a larger number? Yes, we can. We're going to have to add some zeros here. We could because it wouldn't change the value of our dividend. So what we can do is make our dashes above and moving that decimal directly above where it was, matching every one of these place values with the place values up here. If we add more zeros, we'll add more dashes. Okay, so 30 goes into 0 times. Move over to the 5. 30 goes into 5, unfortunately, once again, 0 times. We're going to extend it over to the 57. 30 goes into 57 once. Okay, and when we multiply 1 times 30, we get 30. 57 minus 30 is 27. Well, we could stop there, but let's add a 0. Let's add a dash, and we're going to bring down the 0. 30 goes into 270. Well, I don't know my 30s that well, but I know that I see a 3, and I know I see a 27, and that helps me out because I know it goes in 9 times. Both have a 0, so I can forget about those or think about them in a different way. But 9 times 30 is 270, okay, because 9 times 3 is 27, add the 0. When we subtract those, we get 0. So our answer here is 19 thousandths, okay, 0 and 19 thousandths. So when we have our place value, we make sure we put our decimal in the right place, and we do our division the exact same way as we normally would, it helps us in understanding that our digits are in the right place value. So that's it for this other short video on dividing decimals by whole numbers. Hopefully this helped you. Once again, it's really all about matching up place value and making sure you're being organized in the way you do your math. So making sure you have those dashes, make sure your decimal goes exactly up. You can add zeros to the end as many times as you really need to keep going. And hopefully you'll be able to stop dividing at some point. If not, we have a repeating decimal, and then we need to reevaluate. But that was it. So when you come across these types of problems in any of your work, make sure you're following those skills and strategies. All right, until the next video.